You guys want to go over international funding, why America's depleted, competition for resources within America, the education system's kind of being debunked right now. I was talking to Mike yesterday about things like diabetes, especially type 2, and I was like, reoccurring inflammation, this is also a thing with parasites, and rubella, brain swelling, alcoholism, they see it in all sorts of things, even in trauma victims. So I was kind of going through it. But either way, I was like, think about how much you get sick. You get viruses, you get colds, you get freaking warts, you get, STDs if you're having sex like the standard American. A lot of people are pretty loose with their commitments and also their love. And I realize, for some of us, well, never mind, I'm not even going to say that. But, you want universal health care, and it's really hard to justify at this point with the amount of negligence inside medicine, some medical negligence. And then just like in music, how like a lot of writers are saying their stuff got stolen, and they're not, they almost feel trapped by becoming a star in this country. And I get that, I totally get that. My dad was one, I'm not one. I just was really good at writing. And, I saw what that did to our family. And, I told Mike recently, I just wanted a normal life, and I want one now. And he's like, baby, it's never going to happen. And that's, like the amount of trust, like whether you come from, and I don't come from wealth, like that's the thing, like you make really wealthy people off of us, and then you control that wealth, and while you manipulate it and go through really disgusting acts to obtain it and to control it, like really horrific things. That's why it classifies as extortion, and medical homicide. Just really horrible things. It really pays to know the right people to fuck over people in this life, But anyways, luckily, you got so careless, you started doing it to just about everybody and anybody, because you hated niggers and you hated Mexicans. You hated just about everybody except for, like,